Yep.
Yo, dude.
What's going on?
Got that tangerine back.
I actually just got a box of stuff yesterday. I'm doing the liver cleanse later this week.
Yeah, I need to do that badly myself. I'm a bit scared of it though.
It's not that bad.
I need to, No, I'm worried because I know I've got loads of gallstones and stuff just waiting to come out. I just worry about how bad that'll be. Yeah, but it's made a big difference. Like I don't have as much anxiety by like a massive degree. I think you forget when you're not taking the tangerine what effect it actually has. You know, when you go back to taking every day.
Yeah.
Better.
Well, and people kind of downplay the effect their physical body has on their mentality. Like, I've always known it because having the chronic Lyme disease, especially as a kid, like, if you're a kid, you want to be outside playing and everything like that. But if your body, if your body can't do it, you're miserable. Like, so it's like, you know, you'd have days where it's like mentally you want to be out there doing stuff and everything, but if your body can't get up to do it, it weighs on you. Like, but yeah, that's good though. You're feeling better. I'm sick with something. I don't know if it's just allergies or what, and I don't even understand allergies at this point. Like, I've lived basically in the Hudson Valley my entire life. Why at 32 am I, like, allergic to my hometown? I don't know.
Probably AIDS.
AIDS, or the shit they're spraying in the chemtrails.
So you are pretty wild on the weekends, man. It's going to catch up at some point, you know? At some point.
I guess.
So we just hit the ground running straight away. So people like waiting, like Tommy Robinson's just like, what a whirlwind, man. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Tommy Robinson. Oh my word. What are you making of it over there? Because I'm not seeing anything of what I'm thinking. And the thing is I want to put a warning out there. I'm triggered by what I'm thinking. Like, I'm actually triggered by it because I actually like Tommy a lot. I love the guy. And I don't like hearing the stuff that conclusions I'm coming to. I'm really disappointed in the whirlwind and about just looking at things realistically and not taking sides. I mean, but I'll let you go first because my view is going to be quite shocking, I think.
Well,
so you've got to promise not to shout at me when you hear what I've got to say on Tommy.
Well, I'll say my overall opinion, thing that bothers me. First off,
Let's start by explaining the whirlwind. I mean, it is a whirlwind. I went onto Google Trends, and if, you know, you can look at keywords. Like, Tommy Robinson is off the fucking scales. It's like Trump level.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Well, and you know what's interesting though is you had said, I forget which like if it was like PM or something like that. But you at one point months ago made a remark saying, who in England could we have run for office that could really turn things around? And you said Tommy Robinson's like the only one on that level that could run for office and, you know, really make an impact. So it's interesting for you to compare the metrics to Trump, where maybe this might segue to it. Maybe he'll be the political martyr and then end up going for office. The thing that's amazing to me is just the whole state of the legal system over there in England. The fact that
you're bringing up some great points, Sam. You must be reading my mind, but you're going to be in for a shock. But yeah, that's a really good point about that he could run, and this is a great build-up on that Google trend. I mean, you're talking. If you just check yourself, Google, you know, you can do keyword search. If you type in Tommy Robinson, and you can look at the graphs. He is phenomenal. He must be one of the biggest talking points in the world, not just the UK.
Well, and it's the...
And before that, in the UK, not many people really knew who he was.
I was going to say, it's the Streisand effect. When people know that you're not allowed to talk about something, everyone ends up looking for it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll let you hit it. I mean, what's your feelings on the Tommy Robinson storm? I mean, he's caused the storm. I think we can agree on that. It's caused a bit of a whirlwind up there.
You know,
in all areas, not just the mainstream, but the alternative media too.
Here's my take, and it's sort of just a commentary in general with the way YouTube works, and I can even tie it into the videos I've seen on Candace Owens and everything like that. Like, YouTube at this point and it's part of the digital landscape and the up to the minute, the Twitter, new tweets every second, but there's a rush to comment on things where I almost have suspended my opinions on this because I feel like I'm actually waiting for substantial information. Like, I've seen Kaylin Robertson on every platform essentially saying nothing. I've seen a whole lot of people talking about this, but saying nothing.
Been on it. Stefan's been on it. Stephen Crowder's been on it. Alex Jones has gone crazy with it. Lauren Southern's jumped on it. Katie Hopkins, Nigel Farage, UKIP.
But besides saying what happened, he's arrested, we're not allowed to talk about it, so on and so forth, is what you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there isn't enough of a story yet for it to be getting this much attention.
I think something else.
And I think that by the time an actual story of substance formulates, it's going to be old news. There'll be something else in the headlines that will be...
I think the writing's on the wall, and we're being massively taken on a circus, like an actual sideshow circus. And I think when I say this, this is going to get a lot of hate. And I want the title to be The Truth About Tommy Robinson. Because, I mean, if you listen to previous shows, I was a big supporter of Tommy Robinson. But with this scenario, I've been having massive doubts. Massive doubts. Do you want me to break it down for you?
Yeah.
The argument I'm seeing is between the mainstream media and alternative. Whether it's whether it's Alex Jones, Breitbart, or Rebel Media, who are the big players. Remember Rebel Media?
Yeah.
They're saying this is, the police silencing people. Now's the time to leave. Look, it was Lauren Southern, then it's Brittany, now it's Tommy. No one's safe. This is because it's Islam. He got a secret trial. He couldn't defend himself. It's like, whoa. Let's just go down to the bare minimum of it. What was he charged with? Contempt of court. And it's his second time. Like, he's been done for this before when he filmed in court before, and he got contempt of court. Now, you guys don't have contempt of court like we do, but running up to someone before there's a verdict is unfortunately definitely contempt of court, especially if you live stream it, because everyone's saying that no one's Jamie, are you there? Or
Yeah. Oh, I'm listening.
Yeah, so everyone's saying it, that no one's reporting on this trial, that it's only Tommy doing it. That's not true. There are a jury in there, but because of the nature of the case, and there's so many rapists that they're doing 3 or 4 separate trials to break up the numbers. So there's still enough of a trial to come on. So if Tommy Robinson's been told to stop filming outside and stop interrupting, and he ends up having another run-in with the suspects, regardless of what I think of the suspects, that is contempt of court. And if you look in England, I think he got quite a light sentence, like a really light sentence, because I can show you examples of harsh penalties for contempt of court, like harsh ones. So one example is this kid, and he was, you have to do jury service and stuff, you have to watch and be the jury. He was doing that, and his mate sent him a message on Facebook saying, "Oh, what are you doing?" So he took a photo of the court, so if I can sat here watching this crap, and it wasn't a photo of anything of any significance. He got 2 years in jail for putting in contempt of court. You don't actually have to affect the trial. It's if you're a risk.
Yeah.
And that's why, unfortunately, Tommy Robinson's an activist and not a journalist. Any journalist who was accredited, I'm not saying you have to be accredited. The first thing you learn is about what is contempt of court. Like, how do you report on a court case? What can you definitely do? What can you not do? And what is touchy ground? And the thing with Tommy is he was live streaming it. It's not as if the police could just go, delete the video, and then maybe we can let it slide. He was fucking live broadcasting it. And contempt of court is about making public stuff that could change the opinion of the court. And everyone has to have a fair trial, whether they're Islamic rapists or not. And that's why the judge is pissed off.
Well,
because sometimes people walk away, like scumbags walk away.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, I was just going to say that because they've realized it's a biased jury and stuff like that. Yeah, no, and that's a really valid point, is that what Tommy was doing in some ways could completely backfire and could get these guys off.
No, regardless, it was contempt of court by all standards. There's no ifs or buts about it. I know I'm not explaining it well, but he's been told not to film outside. You definitely can't say stuff until the verdict, really, because you're innocent until proven guilty. So you've got to be really careful what you say until that court case is finished. And there's still another ongoing trial. So I can understand why the judge looked at Tommy, thought, you fucking idiot, what the fuck are you doing? Brought him straight in and just charged him there and then. Because that's normal. Like Alex Jones going, well, I think it's suspicious that the same judge who's taking this trial is now taking Tommy for, you know, contempt of court. It's like, no, that's completely fucking normal. That the judge that's running the court case would be the most likeliest person to sentence someone because he will see it first normally.
Well, and it's I also
I be the first person to see it. That's completely normal.
Here's the and to your point about that, here's the thing where it's like when I hear something and they're like, oh, they just brought him in, they had these charges, they just threw the book at him, this and that, and it's like all of these same journalists on any other day of the week would be like, the court systems are corrupt. You know, think about how they talk about MRAs and the children, the family courts, and I mean, I had a restraining order at one point for threatening an.
I think so. I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised, Jamie.
For threatening an ex's boyfriend. I never even threatened her, but they had a whole 2 pages worth of he's done these drugs, he has access to guns. Yeah, welcome to America. Who doesn't have access to guns? But I mean, it was like 2 pages of shit talking. They gave me some public defender who basically tried to reread the document to me as if I was illiterate. And then when they asked me, are you happy with your public defender? I said no. And the guy jumped up out of his seat. Like, it was a circus. It was like a kangaroo court. And all of these same journalists would say, we have kangaroo courts. They're unjust. And then when something like this happens, they're like, this is without precedent. What? What?
Well, look, if you went to court, would you want Tommy Robinson running around live streaming your face until you had the verdict and getting in the way of it?
No.
Right.
There's a time and a place, like, and that's not it.
Yeah, so the thing that's really disturbing about it is Stefan Moyneux and Lauren Southern are intelligent people. They know that he is in contempt of court. They know it. And the other thing is just going, well, he only had 4 hours and then he was thrown in jail. He couldn't even get his lawyer. It's like for contempt of court, you are allowed to speak to your lawyer on the phone. But as far as contempt of court, I don't think they have to give you a right to get your own lawyer. I think it's fine that they gave you a state one. Because you're in contempt of court. And second of all, you pled guilty, which is a big difference to whether he said, I'm not guilty. He pled guilty if you read it. He said I'm guilty. So why is it a kangaroo court? Like, what sort of defence could you have realistically got if he's going to plead guilty? You're not going to get a jury, you're not going to get a trial, because it's contempt of court. And you pled guilty and the court case is ongoing. So it's not uncommon for someone that's contempt of court. Say someone storms the court and shouts something or hands out documents. It's not unusual for them to be in court in prison within a couple of hours. Because it's a Crown Court, that's what they do, they put people in prison. So the fact it happened in 4 hours is not unusual in Tommy's case. I think he got a really light sentence. I think 13 months, what he did, is actually light. I think he was probably looking at 2 years. Especially, the judge was nice and didn't include a suspended sentence. If they had done 2 contempt of court, and come on, the guy's not a judge. It shows he's an activist. And to me, it's becoming the Tommy Robinson show now.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
The Tommy Robinson show. And that's what that Freedom March was. If you look at it, it wasn't really about England's freedom of speech. It was the Tommy Robinson show. And it had all of Tommy's friends from Rebel Media, which is like Gavin. I'm nothing against Gavin McKines. I like the guy. I think he's hilarious. Same with Lawrence Southern. Same with Raheem. They're all the Rebel Media.
Well, and but you know what the thing is, and that I don't know if I'm the only one that seemed to remember this, but. And I mean, I guess maybe if I really wanted, I could probably hit up.
I know what you're going to say. You're going to go on about the Israel trip.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I guess if I wanted, I could ask Jack or Martina for the inside baseball. But remember the falling out when Kaylin left Rebel, and they were talking about the payoffs and how after someone works there and they leave, they then pay them to keep silent. Kaylin and his boyfriend are like Tommy's camera guy and team right now.
Yeah.
And you have Rebel hopping behind him. Again, I understand, you know, the cause is bigger than the personal issues and stuff, but, like, I don't know. It seems like there was bad blood between the parties, and now they seem to be all taking part in the Tommy Robinson show.
It is a Tommy Robinson show. I can't believe anyone with a good brain said, Tommy, this is definitely contempt of court. It's like the first thing you learn in journalism. You can't chase and get into fist fights with the accused, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be in jail. And then everyone's going, it's not fair. Look at England's stupid laws. It's like, they're perfectly logical laws to me. And now I sound like a statist, right? But no, you've got to have a fair trial. Everyone's got to have one. And if you're in contempt of court, I mean, I think people have had way worse sentences than Tommy Robinson for less contempt than that.
Yeah.
And everyone going on the streets going, free Tommy, and they look like, I'm sorry, they look like football racist hooligans. It's not a good image at all. And then now all the newspapers, anyone that didn't know Tommy Robinson before, have just built up this massive movement, and then they look at Tommy Robinson and go, yeah, he's a fucking idiot. And that's not in any doubt. I don't think that Tommy Robinson's an idiot based on the fact he's in jail. So they're going to look at him when they read racist and Islamophobic and a hatred and a football hooligan, they're going to probably think that's true as well.
Yeah.
If the idiot claim was true. Does that make sense? It's completely, from an outsider's view, and you hadn't seen Tommy Robinson before, you'd be like, oh, the alternative right is stupid. People that listen to Alex Jones is stupid.
Well, and even like
Stephen Molyneux are dumb. They're not.
Well, I was going to say, then, I mean, you listen to, I don't know if you heard Ben Shapiro's, like, talking about it, and his categorization of Tommy Robinson is that he is, you know, far-right, anti-Semitic, like, I mean, he basically tried to make him out to be, like, some sort of alt-right neo-Nazi or something, like, and it's like...
Yeah, well, Ben Shapiro's made a massive mistake there. Because if anything, I would say that Tommy Robinson is very, very pro-Israel.
Well, now I guess there's a change in things, but I mean, that's the problem too, when it's like, when you have a checkered past and you've changed your stance on issues, it kind of leaves the door open for people to pick and choose how they want to represent you. I mean...
That's what you're saying. I think I used to have a lot of faith in Lauren Southern, and I think they're intelligent enough to know.
You know what? Hold on, I'm gonna throw this out there and be blunt.
They're lying. Because they're profiting off... They know that if they say, no, Tommy should be in jail, that's going to have a massive negative impact.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing. I don't know if you saw my video where I was addressing a video Lauren did about Turning Point and Candace Owens and stuff. I'm really starting to doubt Lauren Southern's intelligence, because she did this video about Turning Point and Candace Owens, and about how Candace Owens says, you know, she doesn't care what celebrities think, but oh, there she is with Kanye. She obviously cares what he thinks. All Kanye was saying was people should think for themselves, but that's the side point. She then goes and says, you know, Turning Point says they're against identity politics, but look, they're holding an event for black women, and they're holding an event for immigrants, and this, and that, and, you know, they're just a bunch of hypocrites, and all this stuff, and it's like, I find it hard to believe that she is not intelligent enough to realize that there are people on the left who only view the world in regards to identity. So the only way to even initiate a conversation with them about politics is through the lens of identity politics. It's like you have to introduce them to these other concepts through that identity narrative, because if it's not concerning their identity, they don't care. I know so many people from where I grew up where if I'm talking politics to them, the only politics they care about are black politics. It doesn't matter tax rates, it doesn't matter anything. It's black, all black, everything black. So, I mean, you have to use that identity narrative, if it's the only way they function in politics, to open the door to the conversation. It's so basic that I can't believe that she doesn't understand what they're doing, and she just wants to point fingers and say hypocrite, as if people make these statements and they have to be absolutist. Like I said, you know, there's this tendency on the right and the left where people will turn into, like, taking things ultra literally. You know, like Trump saying, I could go out on Fifth Avenue and shoot someone and I wouldn't lose any support. And people go, oh my God, he is actually talking about killing people. No, he was making a silly remark. Well, the right wing does that to each other. Where if Candace Owens says, I don't care what celebrities think, they expect her to not care what celebrities think in an absolutist term, and if she ever says, oh, that celebrity has a good idea, they're gonna go, hypocrite! Hypocrite, you lied! You're wrong! You said you don't care! And it's like, come on. Like, how productive is this? This is fucking stupid. It's childish.
I think it could be worse, because everyone seems to be in cahoots and on the same page, and it's not even any difference between the Alex Jones coverage, the Lauren Southern coverage, especially struck by Stefan Molyneux, who is British and understands British law, that the claims they're making are very clear about Tommy Robinson. Let's just stick to the claims. First of all, he was not in contempt of court. That is 100% false. I'm not in any doubt. I mean, can we find, what do you think? Have you got
well, and you know what, exactly what you're saying. Now think about the first thing I said, where I said...
Let's do, don't get me too lost, and I will. So otherwise I'm going to get lost. The first point that everyone is in common agreement on is that Tommy is not in contempt of court. Is Tommy in contempt of court? Bearing in mind he's been told off for this before and escaped somehow.
Yeah.
Contempt of court in London, it's not like America. It's serious. It's as serious as it gets. Contempt of court. It's very different to America. And also, I'm going to get on to that. This is very clever because my mum and dad now think Americans are dumb as fuck. Like when they talk about Tommy, they'll insult Americans. They'll go, the reason this is good for Tommy is because Americans are dumb. They're not dumb, but they're ignorant to England. And that's true. So they're not aware of what our laws are, like how our constitution's based.
Yeah, and like you said, contempt of court is something different over here.
Yeah, I think it's something very different.
I mean,
also,
holding someone in contempt over here is like if a lawyer or something speaks out of turn, or if there's an outburst in the courtroom or something, you can hold someone in contempt.
Yeah, contempt in the UK means it's mainly aimed at journalism, that they put, you can report on stuff, but the judge wants to oversee what goes out first. So, for example, sometimes there can be a murderer, and everyone starts darkening this guy's name, and it can turn out he's innocent. Or people can darken his name, and then the claims are false, and then that murderer walks because the media biased the... So it happens all the time. So let's not digress too much. Are we in agreement that they are talking shit, and they know it, that Tommy is in contempt of court? He was.
Yeah, and the thing I was going to say, as far as what you were saying about everyone being on the same page, is that's what bothered me, where I'm like, everyone is reporting the same story, but there doesn't appear to be that much of a story for the hype and the, oh my god, this is unprecedented, how could this be happening, blah, 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 and it's like, okay, what happened? Like, okay, he violated an agreement. Like, anyone, I equate it to having the restraining order, where it's like, yeah, if you're in one of these situations, if you do the slightest thing, they're going to bring back the original charge and try to just...
Yeah, it also clearly states, hold on, bore you, I actually read the law. It's basically for filming in the court and taking photos of the court and, you know, take stuff out of the court that should be left in the courtroom. But it does also include the court grounds and the court building.
Yeah.
So it includes filming people going in and out, and especially if you interact with them.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine it not.
Yeah. Now the other thing is people going, well, point two is that Tommy's the only journalist that's reporting on these rape gangs. Not true. Tommy isn't reporting on them. He's reporting on stuff that's already been reported. And the reason the reporting isn't where you want it to be is I'm pissed off with it too. We've got to wait until his court case is done before there are journalists in there from newspapers. The reason they're not talking is because the judge is controlling the media, because I sound like a statist now, because he wants to control his courtroom.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you wait until the trial's over? And I'm sure you're going to see a lot of news stories about this trial. The reason you're not hearing about all the stuff that Tommy wants to hear as an activist is because that's normal for this kind of court case.
There's no media blackout. There's no silence. People are reporting on it. And Tommy admits that he's only reading stuff that's already been reported on the court case. So that's a contradiction. How can you say there's a media blackout, but at the same time Tom's only quoting stuff from the media?
Well, I think some of it is they were claiming there was a media blackout on talking about Tommy.
Yes, because it could influence the trial. The actual... I don't think it was to shut people up from knowing that Tommy had been arrested.
Yeah, it was in regards to the original case. Yeah. That makes sense.
It does all make sense. And I'm a big Tommy fan, or I was. And it's like, how can anyone say they're doing fair reporting? It sounds like they're in cahoots. And I wonder how much money Tommy Robinson's actually taken in from this arrest.
Yeah.
How much crowdfunding do you think's behind that now, man? It's got to be huge.
Yeah, that's true.
Now I want to give a bit of a boring history lesson. Tommy came from the EDL, the English Defence League, which is like a football hooligans group, and he left because it's deemed racist. But the EDL wasn't like a football movement. It wasn't like football culture getting together. What it was a pro-Israel cabinet that funded it, like high-level... Do you want me to get their names for you? It wasn't like this grassroots thing. It was this pro-Israel thing to get people aware of... to basically get people into Islamophobia. I know when people go, oh, Tommy was the first person reporting on it. That's true. That could be because of the mastermind is a guy called Alan Lake. And he is like massive into Israel and making people really Islamophobic. And this was back quite a while ago. And yeah, he's got quite... That's where Tommy Robinson comes out of.
Yeah.
That's where all the money from the EDL came from. And Tommy was the leader of the EDL. It wasn't like he was just in it. He was like the leader. And then some people, I think, can you check this for me? But the EDL had links to that shooter. Do you remember that Norway shooter? That madman?
Yeah, yeah.
Because they gave him credit for shooting up the kids because the kids were like anti-borders, like let Muslims become leaders and stuff like that. And Tommy Robinson, before he became big, used to make strange remarks about Israel, about how pro-Israel he was. He doesn't now, but before he just started to get big, he used to talk about being pro-Israel all the fucking time, and that's what the EDL was. It wasn't this grassroots stuff. Can you do me a favour?
Yeah.
Just go on Google and type in EDL Alan Lake. Can you tell me about like Alan Lake? It's not like a normal guy. Like this is high intelligence network, an Israeli intelligence. And you know I'm pro-Israel. But I'm telling you, this is a pro-Israel COINTEL. That guy. And the link between the shooters, this guy called, I think it's called Aylin. And he was the head of the EDL Jewish division. And I think he was the one that was making comments about how cool that shooter was, because at least he puts an end to Muslims getting into culture and, you know, controlling politics. So to say that Tommy doesn't have a background with... the other thing is, he isn't a normal person. His name's not Tommy Robinson.
Yeah.
He's changed his name more than... It's not that he's changed his name to protect his identity. This seems a bit more weird. Because he's got a few more names I didn't know he had. Like, his name, he used to name Paul Harris before, Stephen Yaxley Lennon, and then Tommy Robinson. And he was really into, I know people support a lot, but Pam Geller. He was in the Pam Geller and Robert Spencer group. You know, the Stop Islam, I can't say it. Basically, Stop Islam from spreading. So this Jewish Israel thing, and then you look at the rebel media with them doing their trip to Israel with Gavin McHines, and you see it now that Ben Shapiro wants to take his viewers to Israel to show them how great it is. So what I think you could be looking at, I think the question should not be, is Tommy Temple? We should be asking, who the fuck is Tommy Robinson?
Yeah.
He's got a lot of power now. He's got a lot of following. He's now in a, whether you like it or not, prison is a government institution as far as I'm concerned. So he is within a government institution. He's got links to, I would call him Israel COINTEL, like high level Israel COINTEL. I'm not just saying that Jew hating, Israel hating, like I'm a Jew and I'm telling you, that is as high as it gets, Israel Cartel, that started the EDL. It wasn't some football group. If it was, the police would have shut it down in seconds. Can you imagine an actual football hooligans group actually, if it was
turning?
Well, the reason it
because it would have just been looked at as a racist gang. It would have just been looked at as a racist anti-Islam gang.
Yeah, it's obviously it was controlled from the beginning. And I wonder now, is Tommy... I sound so crazy, but is Tommy... Like, who is Tommy Robinson? Is he controlled? And like I said, I'm glad you brought up the Trump thing, that he could run again. What if he does try running, and he's going to be some kind of, like, just massive letdown?
Yeah.
Are we putting too much faith into Tommy? And why aren't we being... If we really care about Tommy, why aren't we telling the truth and say, I'm sorry, dude, thanks for sticking up for us, but you should be in jail, dude. Because you're an idiot.
Well, the thing...
And I think that would be much better coverage if they said, look, wouldn't that look better to the average viewer who doesn't understand who Tommy Robinson is? They go, look, Tommy Robinson's done great work. He's done this, he's done that, he's done that. And unfortunately, he made a bad decision and is in jail. Wouldn't that be better reporting?
Yeah, the thing I was going to say that bothers me, and it's almost the same thing I was saying about, you know, when the whole QAnon thing was going on with Jerome Corsi, how he became the sort of central figurehead of decoding the Q stuff, is it bothers me, you know. The thing I've always liked about Alex Jones is I've said to people, I don't even like Alex Jones as much as I like the people he interviews.
Yeah.
Like Alex
it's not about Alex Jones.
Exactly. The Alex Jones thing has never been about Alex Jones himself. Now, granted, other people in the media will try to make it about him and try to make him the figurehead and a joke and all that stuff.
And I'll be honest, I like the guy. He makes me laugh. He's crazy, yeah, but I like it. I love the guy. I think his heart's in the right place.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I have friends of mine that I've introduced them to Alex Jones and everything, and I mean liberals, and they're buying InfoWars Life products now. I'll tell you, one of the even bigger things, the news media had brought this guy out who got evicted from his parents' house, living there, he's 30 years old, everything like that. Alex Jones brought him on the show and gave him money to get his own place. Now he's got his own place, and Alex is sort of life coaching him and everything, and they're looking and they're like, they're saying this guy's the villain. And all they did was bring this guy out and mock him and make jokes of him. And Alex brings him out and says, listen, I'm gonna show you where you're going wrong. I'm gonna help you get on your feet. Like, he's the good guy in this scenario. But anyway, like you're saying, the Tommy Robinson shows, it bothers me when it becomes like he's the one that's going to stand up to this. And like, all I wonder is, if this is going on, if Tommy's locked up, who's going to step in and fill that void? Like, why isn't someone else now been like, okay, well, Tommy's not here, I'm going to carry the torch?
Yeah, or just raise a lot of money in between. Yeah.
That's the other thing, it's a lot of financial gain. I mean, that's why... Yeah. I assumed Rebel was getting in on it, because I'm like, alright, well, everyone says Rebel is always just in it for the money, so maybe they just want a piece of the pie, but...
See, I know that's going to be really unpopular, but also it caused this massive divide now, this massive fight. People are going to be split, where if you say, well, yeah, Tommy should be in jail on Facebook, everyone's going, oh, fuck you, you're supporting Islamic rape gangs. And it's like, if you say, oh, he should be free, people will be going, well... you're fucking deluded because you're missing the facts, and it's going to cause. It just sounds like an absolute show, like a TV show. Like I'm sorry, it's just.
No, I agree with that completely, and that's.
And I think if
I really got that vibe by the amount of videos I saw of everyone essentially reporting on nothing. Like.
Well, no, because then you've got to face the facts. Is Alex pro-Israel? Yep. Is Shapiro, like, was pro-Israel? Yep. Is Rebel Media pro-Israel? Yep. Do you think Lauren Southern probably is? I don't know, but I guess she probably is. And you just think, are we being led by bit of Cohen-Tell?
Possibly. And I mean, granted, I would say some of them probably don't even realize that they are, but they're just, you know, following along. And, you know, some of them, it's just they want the clicks. They know that this is going on. And
yeah. Because imagine if you didn't report it the way everyone else is trending and where the comments are going. I think that's what they're doing. They're just crowd pleasing now.
Yeah,
get
and
their
that's
own donations up, get their own money up, and no one's saying, hang on a minute, who the fuck is Tommy Robinson in the first place? And is he a journalist or is he an activist? Because to me, he's an activist, and if activists do end up in jail, man.
well, yeah, that's the price to pay.
And then you see David Knight even jumping. I was really surprised by David Knight going, I don't care what the laws are in England. Did Rosa Parks say to shut up when she got told to sit on the bus? Did George Washington shut up? No! It's like, nah, sorry, contempt of court. I reckon everyone in England will probably agree on the law. It's one of those laws where everyone's kind of like pretty cool with it.
Yeah.
I think it applies to everyone. I think it's hard to discriminate on contempt of court. I think it is what it is. I don't think it is a political arrest. I don't think. And then they're going, Tommy's a political prisoner. It's like, you see, he has been in the past. I'll grant you that. But this scenario, probably not. But that's the claims I'm making. The first claim is that he's not in contempt of court. He is. Next, there's a media blackout. There obviously isn't one. Third of all, there's a blackout on the trial that he's reporting on. Well, there's not. It's just, this is the way trials do go. It's not uncommon. And the fourth, I'm ranting, I forgot what the fourth was. Oh yeah, that Tommy's a political prisoner. He's not a political prisoner.
Well, and like I was saying, I know in general,
Go on the streets.
When
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're going to look dumb on the streets. I'm sorry, and it's going to make, and this is going to be.
Well, and you know what? I was going to say,
it puts people in boxes. They're all going to be Brexiters, and then the Remainers are going to go, oh, look at the Brexiters. They fucking support Tommy Robinson, who's a criminal.
Well, and the other thing I was going to say is, it also, you know, it's like Tommy should have known when you're trying to be a smartass and being like, oh, well, you know, they told me I can't be on the court ground, so I'm just going to stand on the sidewalk in front of the court. It's like, you're playing with fucking fire, and then when you burn yourself, you're like, how could this have happened? Like, come on. Like, Ezra from Rebel.
It's worse than that, because everyone around him's going, yeah, Tommy should be allowed to play a fire and not expect a fire.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that was Ezra's video from Rebel. Ezra's video was like, he was on the sidewalk. He was told the sidewalk is okay. And it's
just
like,
giving his public views on a public road.
Yeah.
Like an Englishman drinking his tea. It's like, no, it wasn't. He was on live stream. Public. I'm sorry, but that's how press works now. He was reporting as a press, trying to be a journalist. And he got fucking burnt, as you put it,
Yeah, I don't know.
And do you think, like, maybe the way to go would have been to apply to the court before the trial and actually go in as a journalist? The judge would sit down with all the journalists and say, right, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do, this is what you can say during the trial, this is what you can say after the trial. And if any of you fuck up, you're going to jail. Like, you need to know what the consequences are.
That brings me to one of my points that I think is funny about all of this, is that, again, this idea that you had Kaylin Robinson, you know, oh, we stand up for Tommy and against this whole thing, and, you know, it's all right for Tommy to be out there saying, you know, whatever and getting arrested for it. But then they're like, well, you know, we can't talk about the details of it because the judge told us, you know, whatever. Oh, you're a real great freedom fighter. Like, what happened to, it's like Rosa Parks, was she told to, you know, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, it's just none of it makes sense. That's a really good one, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting lost, but there was a fifth. Let me just get my brain really wound.
It's like,
there was a fifth point they made all the time. Oh yeah, I would like you to take my word for this, but I can show you examples. The fifth claim they make is that it was the harsh sentence. Do you want me to go through UK contempt of court, which were really small and got much more than that? Or do you want to take my word for it? People have done.
Well, I mean, you already said there was the one kid who got 2 years.
Yeah, innocent stuff. Yeah, innocent stuff. But when you're in jury in England, I don't know if you get it in America. I think you didn't get jury service where you'll get.
Yeah.
You have to watch. Yeah, when you go, they basically tell you what contempt of court is, and it can be really stupid shit. Like if you record in the courtroom, regardless of what your what your intentions were, it is contempt of court. And it doesn't matter whether it has anything on it. It's the fact that causes a risk. So the fact you put the court at risk is contempt of court too. You don't actually have to contempt the court. You just have to put the court at risk of contempt of court too. And people have done that, just putting the court at risk and not even leaking anything. 2 years isn't that uncommon to get the maximum. It's really not that uncommon. That's why you've got to take jury service seriously. That's why being a journalist at courts, you've got to be a lot more serious than what Tommy was.
Yeah.
So this thing that he got a harsh sentence, do you want me to go on Google with you and just show you people that got wacky contempt of court and got the full sentence, even though you feel sorry for them? And you're like, well, that dude wasn't trying to contempt the court. He was just like sending a message to a friend going, hey, look, I'm in court. Call me in 10 minutes. That was I think he got like 2 years for that. And he was sentenced the same day.
Yeah.
So that's how courts work. It's not like they sped it up. They had it all pre-planned. If you're in contempt of court, they normally deal with it within a couple of hours because it's there and then. The court case has to be dealt with. And it's not like a normal offence. We get different offences that can be dealt with there and then because they're straightforward. So like a driving offence. Does that make sense? Or just a basic common assault? Because you don't need a jury, you don't need all this shit. It can be dealt with there and then, and you can go straight to jail there and then. So this stuff that he got a harsh sentence, I think in comparison, I think he got a light one. I think 30 months, pretty light. And the judge, according to Coley, said, I'm not even including you're suspended in this. So to me, so I want to go for like ranting. The first one is, he was in contempt of court. And they're saying he wasn't. The next one was, is he a political prisoner? No. Did he have a fair trial? He couldn't get his lawyer. It's like, none of this stuff is uncommon to me. And it makes a mockery of Americans over here, because people are going to look at Americans now and go, look, they're barging in on our politics, they don't even understand the basics. Fuck America. We do have that attitude over here, it's no lie. It's like Americans and their guns.
Yeah.
Just fucking keep... Like, none of them, half of them, like 90% of Americans have never left America. Like, they don't know anything, they're just loud, and they don't understand that their law system's completely different to ours.
Yeah. I mean, I even, I see
they
that
think
even...
everywhere's America.
Yeah.
It's not. Like,
well, and that's one of the things you see, like, Crowder made that point about freedom of speech, where, like, he always tells people, like, people don't realize freedom of speech is a very exclusively American concept, where it's like, you're obviously free to say whatever, but there's consequences elsewhere about what you say and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's a great way of putting it.
One of the things I wanted to get into, I don't know if you've pretty much wrapped up your Tommy...
Yeah, I was expecting you to shout at me because I know that you've taken a lot of this meeting, and I'm insulting people that I respect and you respect. I thought you'd be going, "Ah, shut up," or like he is like a political.
No, I'm.
Like Stefan Molyneux was like, they came for him at dawn, knocking on the door like the Nazis. Like, that's not what happened. He went to the fucking court. No one knocked on Tommy's door at night. Didn't even happen at night.
Well, I think
with masked men grabbing people that speak out. It's like, what the fuck, Stefan?
He might have been talking about a different time when they did show up at his house at night. But I mean, still, they do that.
That dramatic allegory story. He made an allegory story. Imagine you're a Nazi German in 1930s. No, this was.
Oh my God, I didn't see that.
Stefan.
I'm glad I didn't. But now that'll bring me into, I don't know. Do you follow Vox Day at all?
No, I don't even know what Vox Day is, man.
Vox is
I know I've read it, but
Vox. He used to be in the band. I don't know if it's Ultravox or one of them, but he was in a band. Now he's in comic book publishing. Very big in the Gamergate circles, kind of alt-right-ish. But him, and even Alex Jones interviewed this other guy, a Middle Eastern-looking guy, where they were talking about Ben Shapiro, and basically, you've had Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro being called out for being sort of charlatans and being controlled opposition. And I thought this was interesting because of what we were saying the one week. I think it might have been the last episode that we didn't upload. But the Jordan Peterson take your pills things, you should listen to some of Vox's streams because the things he will say make so much sense. Where, first off, did you know Jordan Peterson did some work for the UN, including writing narratives on their goals? And he messed up saying it, so I don't want to say the wrong thing, whether it was working with Podesta or someone else in that group, but he's done some shady work with the UN. Now, one of the points Vox makes is Jordan Peterson, in his underlying philosophy, views all of humanity's great evils as centering around the idea of group identity. So, now if you take Jordan Peterson's philosophy to the ultimate extreme, if we can't have group identity and we're all just individuals, well then that is one identity. So it falls in line, and then if you read the rest of his series, like, Vox Day is a very interesting way of showing how Jordan Peterson's theories play out into a sort of Crowleyan, do as thou wilt, one identity, one world government, one religion. Again, he's remember, he's not for religion. He says all religions are one. They're all myths and allegories that have been told over time. There's a one world government, one world religion, one world identity narrative concealed in Jordan Peterson's ramblings. And that's the other thing I didn't even realize. One of Jordan Peterson's rules, speak with precision. How often does Jordan Peterson speak with precision? He always goes off on a tangent. And it's,
yeah, when's he ever pat a cat?
I mean, and then think about it. Do you know what any of Jordan Peterson's policies are?
No, I don't.
Do you know if he's pro-life or not? Do you know if he's thinks gun ownership is a, good thing or not? Do you know if he's for welfare programs? No one knows any of this. It's so vague. And then he just comes out with these things: clean your room, take your pills. This and then you have the media elevating him to this point where, he is the Streisand effect thing, where they're like, they elevate him and they put him up against these sort of softball opponents that just tee up things for him to knock out of the park with very basic statements. There's biological differences between men and women and everything like that. But both Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro, and they're doing a lot of work together, have found...
Ben Shapiro, I was watching a Joe Rogan thing today, and he was pushing loans, of all things.
Pushing
One
what?
Of his sponsors a loan. When you watched a Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro, that he just put it out today, I was like, yeah, Joe Rogan. Halfway, like a lot of it, I'm not against it, but he's putting a lot of adverts in now, a lot of sponsors.
Yeah.
But the one that really picked up on me was he was going, do you have finances? Do you have credit cards or loans, or do you want to get your kitchen fixed? Or do you have projects that you need finance for now? Well, go to this loan company and get great rates. Don't put it on your credit card. And it's like, you're pitching debt now?
Well, I think...
And the reason I thought it was weird was because I thought the watch sponsor's quite cool.
Yeah.
I even checked out the webpage. I was like, oh, watch sponsor. That's actually quite a good idea. And then you had some other sponsor for beds or pens or whatever. And you think, okay, that kind of... You do a good job selling it. You got a good pitch. Fair enough. And then he went, and then after the third advert, it's like, oh, the adverts are getting a bit too much now. And he goes, do you need a loan? It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I guess that was one of the things Jones had said about him was, and even Vox Day had said this, because I guess they were working at a similar, maybe it was WorldNet Daily or something.
Do you know how much money you get of that?
No, but I'm sure it's a lot.
Take a guess.
Probably 20%.
Yeah. Probably not that much. I reckon it's probably about 1% of the loan.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot,
off.
Man.
But yeah, if it's a couple $1,000, yeah.
Yeah, and all you got to do is click on the link. How many people do you think will actually do it? Because everyone has got debt, man. And if they go, oh, Ben Shapiro, everyone does have debt, man. Everyone's got a credit card.
Well, and that's one of the things that's always bothered me about Ben Shapiro is I don't understand why Ben Shapiro will be like, every 15 minutes there's a message from some sponsor, and then they're still like, buy our subscription.
Fuck that, bro. Like, if you do, let's say we had a podcast, right, and we got a watch deal, that'd be great. But the watches are $100, so if you got 1% of that, okay, it's a little bit of money here and there. But if you get loans and you've got an audience like Ben Shapiro, and it's a product where everyone's got financial product, and Ben Shapiro goes, hey, this is a great loan. A lot of people just take him on his word. I would. I'd go, okay, I need a better loan. I've got a loan anyway. Let's get another loan. Like, if you get one, like, do you not think, how much money do you reckon Ben Shapiro sells in loans doing that? Just that little 2-minute spurt.
Yeah.
How much do you think he gets, especially at the beginning? Like, would it be unreasonable to say that Ben Shapiro's just called leads that are worth $500,000, like $250,000?
Yeah.
Is that unrealistic?
Well, and that was one of the things. I'll send you the interview that Alex Jones.
How much do you think? It's like the loan. You can take up to $40,000 unsecured. It's like, you can do that in America. That's a lot of money unsecured, man. I'm surprised you can get loans like that unsecured.
Well, and that's.
No wonder you guys are fucked. And then it's going, you don't even need to have a credit check. It won't even show up on your credit score. It's like, this doesn't sound like a great bank, man.
Well, and that was one of the things. I'll send you the interview where Alex Jones was interviewing this guy, because they put out a warning to Ben Shapiro, and Alex keeps talking about how he knows that Ben's being funded by Texas billionaires and stuff. But the thing I was going to say is, you know, Ben Shapiro will put out his podcast, and it'll be like the first half of it's, you know, you can see him, and then the second half they just put up like a thing being like, if you want to see the full show, subscribe to the Daily Wire. And it's like, okay, so you want people to subscribe to this show that's still every 10 or 15 minutes you're selling a product in between, where it's like, how much money do you guys need between Ben, Clavin, and Knowles? Like, you only really got 3 people that I'm seeing. Like, Crowder's got a bigger staff, and he just does a little, oh yeah, Crowder Studios protected by Walter, you know, whatever. Like, and he'll just make like a funny little commercial or clip, but it's not
that's cute.
overboard.
That's different. Stephen Crowder probably did buy a Walter. Walter saw that he had a Walter, and it's like, that's how sponsorship works.
Yeah.
Stephen Crowder is into guns. He got a cool gun, though he does actually like the gun. And that's a great kind of thing. And the same with the Ben Shapiro and a watch. Like, I like watches. You're wearing a watch on the show. If you like the watch, why not have it? That's great.
Well, and even Owen Benjamin, I forget who was interviewing him.
Company?
It might have even been someone else from Daily Wire, but Owen Benjamin was saying that. He was saying Ben is so great with these sponsors because he personalizes all of it. He's like, do you have investments? I have investments. You need to diversify your investments. Buy some gold.
Benefits. That's just like what do they call it? Benefits and come on with the other ones. Benefits and like what it actually does. Benefits and features.
Yeah.
That's what you do in every sales pitch. You want a feature. What does it do? It's not important about what it do, but why is it helpful to you? So that's the oldest selling trick in the book. So
yeah,
that's what it does. And
Ben's very good at it. That's all I'm saying.
That's pretty bad. Yeah, I know. But the thing is the reason I'm probably ranting a bit. But with Stephen Crowder doing a gun deal, I want to go back to the finances of it. How much do you think Stephen Crowder realistically makes off the commission of the guns? Probably not much. So it's not so much about him needing the money and, okay, I need the money, fuck it. It is like, well, he could have a lot of sponsors on there, but it's, no, this is a product I believe in. Sure, I'm going to take a lot less money than a bank, but it seems a lot more Christian and honest to me. I bet you Crowder does get sponsors which are way more profitable than that gun company, way more politically correct, making way much more money, sell more, but it's like, the Walter thing's more genuine because I used Walter.
Yeah.
He got Gay Gerard into guns. He likes Walter. Like everyone, he does introduce people to guns. That's a real thing. And they seem to like them too.
Yeah.
And I don't think, how much is a gun in America? I don't think they're that much. So I can't imagine the commission's that high. But with a loan, he's just sending, like Ben's now an affiliate marketing for a loan company. Dude, that's big bucks. Like, I'll tell you how much it's worth. We can figure out how much it's worth. If you go on Google, you can buy keywords. AdWords? You know AdWords,
yeah,
right?
Yep.
How much do you think an AdWord is for a loan or credit card? Like, how much do you think that kind of bidding is? I would dread to fucking think.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro's putting that on his podcast. I don't think it's unrealistic that he could write a couple of $100,000 of loans just from that little pitch. The amount of traffic he sends, man, Jesus. And you think that's, I don't know, maybe I'm just being a dick about it, but
I don't know. I mean, it's, you know, with everything I've heard earlier this week with the Jones and the other guy talking about him and stuff, he's definitely a shady character. And the thing is that he's been sort of, He's like the equivalent of a political version of like a childhood star in Hollywood. Like,
he does look a little bit evil.
Where like, I mean, that was the thing Vox Day was saying, where Vox Day was like, you know, when we were both writing at WorldNet Daily and he was like 17 and I was older, you know, he came to me and was asking advice and stuff, and he was like, and he revealed to me that basically none of his points are his own. Candace Owens even made this point when she was talking to Joe Rogan about Ben, and she was like, I'm friends with him, but and she was very nice about how she put it, but she said, he's so smart that I think he thinks he doesn't have anything left to learn. Like, he just has a position on something.
Candace Owens fucked up. I wanted to get hold of her. She fucked up really badly, and I don't blame her for doing it, because I made the same mistake before. And it pissed me off with Joe Rogan. Like, I think Joe Rogan's probably very different on camera to behind. Like, I think in real life I probably wouldn't get on with him, but the climate change thing really bugged me out. Like, I was nearly screaming at my TV, and Joe Rogan's going, well, 93% consensus.
I know!
It's like,
you don't know how much I want it to be like, yeah, at some point in time, 93% of scientists thought the Earth was flat, and now...
Yeah, no, but you apply this to fucking your own things when you talk about the smoking. That was approved by scientists. Don't you remember that? Like, like the 93% of scientists, the reason it's in doubt was because they wouldn't refill the articles. They wouldn't release the data.
There's still
so
the secret science and all that.
Yeah, it got hacked. And a lot of the articles were not pro-climate change, and they were included as being. And once you went through it, I think the number turned out to be about 0.3% in favour. 0.3%, not 93%. And that's, I'm not saying that that's true, but what I am definitely saying is that they hid that data, they didn't want to show it, their models didn't work based on the data, and they had to be hacked. And when they did, there are emails you can read where they openly admit to fudging the data and refusing papers. You've got 10,000 scientists. How do you know they didn't get 500,000 scientists and then just disregard 490,000 scientists? And that's what the debate is. I'm really fucked that Candace didn't know that. I was like screaming at her going, please, nail this. Like,
yeah, I know. And she was just
sick of Joe Rogan throwing that at people.
I know. That part was very aggravating. And especially him being like, you have to, you know, have this sort of answer.
Yeah, Candace, you have to have an answer. It's like, no, she doesn't. She says she doesn't know. She's just got an opinion.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best answers you can give. At the moment, I have an opinion, but I haven't really looked into it. But I read some stuff where it said that the data's fudged, and I know data can be fudged. And you're just going, and Joe Rogan's like, "How dare you? They're scientists."
Yeah, and I
Don't you think you should be more responsible?
And I really think there's so many things where she could have just formalized. I mean, it's hard when you're on the spot like that. But she could have just been like, yeah, and they were also telling us Trump had no chance of winning and 99% chance. Yeah, I mean, how many? You can't just go with this appeal to the mob. Like, that's essentially the point Joe Rogan was making. Well, the experts are saying. Well, the experts are saying. Well, the experts. Yeah, and it's like,
if Candice just said, "Can you name one of these experts?" Joe would be like, well, that's not the point. They're just, it's like, so you can't, you don't know.
I mean, and it's like, you've had, you know, I thought, here's a funny thing, actually. I saw a friend of mine yesterday, and he was like, you know, I was watching old episodes of Saturday Night Live, like, from the 70s when it first started. He was like, and they were making jokes about swine flu. And I started laughing, and I said, well, it's that everything that's old is new again. You know, they resurrect these fears. Like, oh, they were worried about swine flu in the 70s. Well, they were worried about it again a couple years ago. I said, you can go back and find these gloom and doom, the Earth is going to collapse and polar ice caps will melt shit from the 1920s, the 1940s, the 1960s. Like, they just resurrect the fear-mongering for every generation. I mean, I think
Candice put up a really good fight, to be honest, because she was being mildly bullied, and you think it's difficult for Candice because Joe Rogan's such a big character. Not only is he a big character, but he's got a big audience. So she looks like really like, fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I felt bad for her, man. Because I don't know why Joe wouldn't accept her answer, but it's just like, hey, this is what I think, but I don't really know much about him, but it sounds for you don't either. So let's talk about stuff I do.
Well, and here's the other thing I couldn't believe when she says, I think this idea has been politicized, and he's like, I don't know, I guess, maybe. And then when she says, he says, I don't believe in it, and he's like, well, you know, that's a right-wing position. So you don't know that it's been politicized, but you think the people who don't believe in it is a right-wing position. So you obviously know it's been politicized.
No, but that's true. I'd agree with John. That is a fascinating point. Like, climate change denial is definitely a right-wing kind of thing.
But that's proving it's been politicized. It means when he says he doesn't know it's been politicized, that's complete BS. Like, it sort of just showed to me his thought process on this is very compartmentalized.
No, but it's true. I'd agree with John. I think it's really interesting. Like, when he said that...
It is true. I'm not denying that.
And I find it really interesting. But couldn't there be other explanation? First of all, it's not mutually exclusive. Hate to sound like a dick, but it's not mutually exclusive. Just because something is on the right doesn't mean it's necessarily false. Okay? Doesn't mean that. So to jump to that conclusion, well, it's on the right, so there must be a problem with it, probably isn't the best way to look at it. And the other thing is the reason why the right probably attached to it, because I think the thing with carbon change for me, well, it's carbon tax, that's the issue. It's carbon. We're not against, I mean, I don't want to talk about it now, but the point is that is because people want sovereignty. They want to control their own country. And if you start introducing a global tax, it automatically goes against what, like, for example, our equivalent of the right in the UK would be Brexit, right?
Yeah.
Nationality, controlling our own borders, controlling our own laws. Well, if you have a global incentive, that takes that away. So if you're Trump, that's the same. You're a nationalist.
Well, and that's,
you want to control your own country. You would obviously be against anything that... So I think
that's the thing.
Reason why it goes hand in hand with the right.
Yeah, because the climate change thing is a very sneaky and underhanded way that they've tried to introduce globalism into literally everything. Like,
that's why it's not a left thing. Because for the left to introduce more globalism and more global partnerships, I think that's something they'll embrace.
Yeah. One of the things I thought was interesting, though, and Candace even kind of slightly called him on this, when she was like, okay, well, you know, if there is this problem, let's say you're right, what are we going to do about it? And he goes, well, you know, pulling plastic out of the oceans. What? Like, you have just... That basically just shows how nonsensical this thing goes to, where it's like... Where it's like, this doesn't have to do with climate. Like, it all gets conflated. Where, like Candace said, she said, listen, just because I don't believe in climate change doesn't mean I'm like, oh, let's trash the earth, I'm going to litter and all of this stuff. She's like, I'm obviously for recycling, but... And even I thought there was a study about this that was really interesting. I showed it to a friend of mine, because he knows I have doubts in the whole climate change thing, where they said climate change skeptics are more environmentally responsible than people who believe in climate change. Because think about it, if you believe
I believe that, yeah.
If you believe in climate change,
they leave all their trash, don't they?
Yeah, if you believe in climate change and all this, you think it's this giant global problem that we need the government to handle and them to regulate and do everything.
It's your leader's a great example. You never see Leonardo DiCaprio on a private jet.
And she brought that up too. She said, oh yeah, Al Gore talking about CO2 flying around in his private jet. And Joe Rogan said, yeah, I know, it's kind of funny, isn't it? And it's like, no, it's not funny. It shows how much bullshit this is. If all the people they're saying we need to limit everyone's CO2, but they're living like kings, what the fuck? Like, it's neo-feudalism, basically. That's what it would bring people back to when it's brought to that ultimate point, is a feudalist society. Obama showing up to Africa saying, you can't have cars, you can't have air conditioners because of CO2. It's like, it's environmental colonialism in some areas. Like, it's you know, I had an ex-fiance even. She went to school for geology, and geologists, you know, they study the way the weather has shaped the earth over thousands and thousands and millions of years, and they would say all the time, the cycle we're in now is completely natural. We're going into a cooling cycle. Candace even brought that up. They changed it to climate change because the earth isn't warming, and yet every article Joe Rogan brought up, it was global warming, global warming, global warming, and she didn't call them out on that and say, this is still talking about global warming. I thought it's climate change. Like, why the brand change? Why the relabeling? Why have you changed it to this vague term that you can't pin down?
And it goes back to this Ben Shapiro thing where he was like, I know I'm changing it a bit, but when he was going on about freedom of speech and all this stuff and not controlling people's speech, and then he's telling everyone who he can and can't talk to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's...
And then when...
That's why he's accused of being controlled opposition.
I mean, you blew my mind a little bit of the Jordan Peterson thing. Like, that completely blew my mind a little bit. But the thing is that Ben Shapiro, one of his quotes, and I liked the quote, but now it kind of made me think, especially when you brought that Jordan Peterson thing up, was he was saying that we're a group, and our group is that we don't like to be put into groups. And that fits in very much with the Jordan Peterson philosophy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then I think you're right, because I'm going to butcher, like, I've only just started thinking about this recently, and I'm going to butcher this. But I think the reason Trump won, I'm going to explain this, it's going to take me a couple of months to think about. I think people have got establishment wrong. I think establishment do whatever the whims of the people want. But the reason why they're not doing what we want is because we're not doing anything. So, for example, when people go, march for Tommy, it's like, I'm sorry, marching does nothing.
Well, and you know what? I've heard certain...
They don't care.
I've heard certain former... Yeah. I've said this all along to the black community, because it's like, oh, a cop shot a black guy. Let's go for a hike. You know, and you'd hear, like, former Black Panthers would make this remark where they would say, when have you ever seen Jews out in the street marching? When?
Yeah, right.
How many injustices have...
in Israel, to be fair.
Well, yeah, marches against Zionism and stuff, but it's like, realistically, with all the injustices that have faced the Jews and them moving to new countries and uplifting themselves out of poverty...
Say Asians, because if you look at your college, Asians are actually being discriminated against. They are actually being discriminated against. Because they score so highly in IQ and intelligence, they're saying it's too easy for them to get in, so they're making it harder.
Yeah.
They're saying, okay, we've got to make it harder for Asians to get in. That is actually discrimination. That's not help. I understand you've got to help black kids get in. I can understand that that's something you've got to take on. That's not racism. That's helping someone, you know, where race IQ might be a thing and, you know, culture might be a thing. But to actually discriminate someone because they do make good decisions, do come from a good culture, is actually discrimination. Yeah, I'm not seeing many Chinese people like even talking about it, let alone marching.
Yeah, no.
But I don't want to digress too much. The reason marching doesn't matter is because it has no effect. If you I'm definitely guilty of this. The reason why we're being walked upon is because no one's getting into government. No one's getting into their local government. No one's really running the church anymore. No one's running the communities. If you want to see change, you will see it once the establishment... If the establishment will do whatever the people want to do, they just want power. And I think I'm not explaining it very well, but if the people start actually getting into the positions to start demanding this power and actually start playing the game, I think you would see the changes you want to see. But because we keep going out marching and have this group, that group, nothing's getting done. We're all getting played.
Yeah.
Like, you have to pick up your game, and it's like you can't just be an activist like Tommy Robinson. You've actually got to be like a judge.
Yeah.
You've actually got to be like a mayor of a town. You've actually got to run for election. Once you're in, then I think the elite will change to whatever.
Well, and again,
whatever power. I think they just want power. I don't think
No, and again, the easiest thing for me to relate it to, because of where I've grown up, is issues in the black community. Whenever a black kid is shot by a cop, first question I ask was, how many of you black guys that are going out for this march are going to sign up to be police officers and to make sure this job gets done in a more fair manner? Oh, none of you? Okay, so whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if the black people did start doing it, it would change.
Yeah. It's the old quote, be the change you want to see in the world.
And I think Trump probably he's way ahead of my little brain, but I think that's what he's picked up on, is it doesn't matter if, you know, people think, well, Trump's this out guy, like how is he going to get stuff changed? As you see, people in CIA will just take orders. A lot of these people in government will just take orders, whether who's in or not. That's the I'm butchering explaining it, but you can't confuse power with them trying to take rights away from you or trying to make you do decisions you don't want to do. No, it's just that's the way the ball's rolling.
Yeah.
And if it rolled the other way, and that's where, as long as they keep power, I'm not doing a good job explaining this, am I? But I could see Brexit happening if the people that want Brexit actually took
got
up
in the seats,
because
and yeah,
they don't, then they're just going to roll with the Remain.
Yeah.
And I think if people did get in, they would just go, well, let's go after Brexit, because that's the, as long as we keep power and we still control England, we're fucking good. I've butchered explaining that.
No, but I agree. I agree completely with what you're saying, though. It's like I said. It's the old saying: "Be the change you want to see in the world." If there were people who wanted,
I'm not doing it. I'm not saying I'm doing it, but
like you said, if there were people who wanted Brexit actually in the government, it would happen, rather than just going to the people who don't want it and saying, "Make it happen for me."
Right? Yeah. Don't work like that.
Like you can't.
Works from the inside.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
what a brutal week, man.
Yeah.
How do you feel now? Like, I feel really bad about this whole alternative media. I just feel like I've been promoting these people, and I just feel like,
and you know, that's
I've been taken for
that's
a ride.
almost why I get irritated when I see people attacking Candace Owens, because I see she has played this game for herself masterfully. Like,
she'll turn out to be a Jew.
Give
it another year, man.
But I was going to say,
she'll start promoting like gender neutral politics.
But,
give it a year, man.
But like she knew YouTube was a dead space. So the moment she was like, all right, I can be out of YouTube and just on Fox News and everything like that, I'm done here. Like, she knew, because all it is crabs in a barrel. Like, the people who are stuck on YouTube and don't have anywhere to spread out into, they just attack anyone that breaks out of the YouTube model. It's crabs in a barrel mentality. And I think it becomes very drama-y and gossipy. Like, when Candace Owens was talking about Ben Shapiro and calling him a hall monitor, that irritated me so much. And the only reason I was so irritated is because of how right she is. That it becomes this high school clique nonsense of who's sitting at whose table. Oh my god, Tommy Robinson got detention. Oh, we all have to do videos about it. You know, it just gets very, very it's why I have so much respect for Black Pigeon Speaks, because he just does his videos and makes his points on the issues he wants to highlight, and he doesn't really get too far wrapped into the personal stuff. Like, yeah, he did an interview with Lauren Southern and a few other things, but the drama aspect and the gossipy kind of cliquey aspect, and, you know, Ben Shapiro trying to enforce who can talk to who and all of this other nonsense, it makes me disinterested in all of it in general. Where it's like,
I just think we're all being led, especially in the UK. I can't understand how people can see that this Freedom March wasn't a Freedom March. I know it's a big deal and it's like fun, but it wasn't a Freedom March. It was Rebel Media show, Tommy Robinson show. It was the Tommy Robinson show by Rebel Media. It wasn't this diverse group of people talking these like-minded. It wasn't that at all. It was Rebel Media. It was Gavin McKinnon. I like the guy. He's fine as fuck, comedian. But he is just pro-Israel. He can do that. I'm not against him being. Does that make sense? I'm not like having a go at a guy for being pro-Israel. But he is. And then the next person is Lauren Southern. It's like, well, she's in the same fucking camp. I don't really know what her politics are on Israel. And then you had Raheem Kassam. Pretty obvious where he stands on it. And it's like Katie Hopkins, and then it's like other UKIP people, and you just think, these are all Rebel Media fucking people. Like, what? Like, this isn't about freedom much, this is like the Tommy Robinson March.
Yeah.
Milo as well, yeah, Milo was the office speaker. Milo's pretty pro-Israel, isn't he? He's pretty open about that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or am I just being a Jew-hating, even though I'm a Jew? Am I like being a self-hating Jew?
I don't know. I just, like I said, it's just kind of odd to me when I see the thing with, like...
But now you see, like, if it was like a grassroots protest, and it's all these big numbers, I think it would have just been shut down. It just looked like a nice little party, like, all the police were cool, everything was, like, set up really, really well. It wasn't. And I just think, it's just pro-COINTEL, to make us look dumb. put us all in a group because they want us. That's how you deal with sheep. You put them in little pens, and we're all being put into this little pen box.
Yeah.
And we're talking about how we don't like to be groups, and we are penning ourselves into a group, which is the rebel media. And I don't got nothing against rebel media, but I don't want it to be my political movement for the UK.
Yeah.
And no one else is saying this, man. It's like, it's just weird. It's the Tommy Robinson show. It's not about journalism. It's not about the UK's collapsing into a free speech. I mean, it is, but that's not an example of it. Oh, it's just the what I mean. Who the fuck is Tommy Robinson? That's what the show could be called. Tommy Robinson, the truth. Who the fuck is Tommy Robinson?
Yeah, that's one of the...
Because his background isn't that fucking tidy, man. And how much money do you think's going through that web page, man? Like, when does he come out? He could be a big driving force. We've got this march going on 9th of June. It looks like that's going to be big. And it's going to be discredited before it's even started. Because anyone with a brain is going to go... It's in contempt of court. And it's... oh... And the thing is, I support it. I like a lot of the stuff this movement's pushing, but it's got to ridiculous levels now, and everyone's involved. Like Alex Jones, man, he's a smart dude.
Yeah.
Stefan Molyneux is a fucking smart dude. Have they been duped, or are they lying? Like what? Which one?
I think it's.
Oh, I'm fucking pissed, man.
I think it's like
I can't take it. Like, I'm not intelligent enough to deal with this.
Well, I think it's just in-group preference, confirmation bias, and a lot of that stuff going on.
You don't think it's like a larger...
Like I said before, I think
Maybe
some of them...
It is just in-group preference.
I think some of them, even if they are being led, I don't think they would realize. Like, I don't think... And not saying they aren't bright enough, but to some extent, like... I don't know. I think they could be being misled and all that without even being aware. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll be interesting keeping on it, because like I say, Tommy was the biggest storm, and all this stuff saying it's not being reported on. I think if you go on Google Trends, obviously not true, is it? They're just not reporting what you want to hear.
Yeah. Well, how often do they, really?
Tommy. Yeah, and you look at the protests, I'm sorry, they do look quite disgraceful. They look like football hooligans to me. Like, the papers are right, that was a football hooligan march. Like that we saw, for not the Freedom March, but the Free Tommy outside Down Street. People are climbing the gates and all that shit, and yelling shit at the cops. It's like, dude, it's not... It looks bad. It looks dumb. And not only does it look bad, like, you're not even doing it for a good reason. And like I say, it's probably just a little game, just going, how can we, you know, it could just be like a little game.
Yeah,
I feel bad, man, because I used to like Tommy Robinson a lot, but I just don't know, I don't trust the guy now. I think there could be more to him.
Yeah, I think there's more to this than we're being led on, and I think it is...
He didn't just come. People are going, he was just a grassroots kid from Luton. That's bullshit, man. Did you type in those people's names who started the EDL?
Yeah.
They're high level. They are high level Israel intel. And Tommy Robinson was the leader of the EDL. So he was like meeting with these people. That might explain why he is doing well. Like, you can tell he's probably worth a couple of mil. You can tell. He's doing really well for himself. And do you think Tommy would take that job? Become like our superstar, give you a really great salary, and yeah, you might do a bit of jail time, but we can hook you up in jail. Yeah, you'll get a couple of mil in your bank, and you get to like move to pro. Like, he joined because the EDL was just pro-Israel movement. It was. Oh God, am I getting too conspiratorial?
I don't think so. Because it always is a matter of like the funding and who's funding what. And again, I think about, you know, when
And also, it's disrespectful to England. I'm sorry, man. We are an evil country. Like, our MI5 are evil as fuck. Like, they're fucking psychos. Do you think if Tommy Robinson really was a problem, they couldn't deal with it?
no, I think they
James
could.
Bond can't deal with Tommy Robinson. Do you think if they really didn't like him, they could just disappear him? You really think he's running around like enemy of the state? You think you can run around England and be an enemy of the state? You honestly believe that? Like, what are you talking? There's no enemy of the state in England because they're dead.
Yeah.
If you're an enemy of the state, you're dead. Like, that's what... There's no such thing as enemy of the state in the UK. That's a lie. Like, there's dead people, and there's people that weren't enemy of the state. I mean... It's kind of disrespectful to our intelligence service,
Yeah.
man. They fucking want you gone, you're gone. You seem to be doing really well. Like, you don't seem to be a victim of the state. You seem to be one of the most successful people in the UK right now with a great political movement behind you.
Yeah. Like you're saying, I think if it was
And
an
they could
issue,
just
they
set
could.
up a Muslim to kill him. They could.
Yeah.
Like, people would fall for that. If like some Muslim just wiped him out, who was working for MI5, people would buy that. Like, I'm not saying like go kill. I'm just saying it wouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
And I just think, like, what are people looking at these days when they're watching the media? And it's because we are in these echo chambers. I guess you go to Stefan Moynihan, go to Stephen Crowder. Because at first, for the first couple of days, I was like, fuck, get Tommy out, free Tommy. And then I thought about it for a while. I was like, this is well done. I'm not saying I didn't jump on, but I did for about, I cracked, like last night, I reckon. So it's not as if like I'm, I was like really pro Tommy for the first couple of days when he got arrested. I was like, get him out of jail, have a protest, let's go march. And I just thought, this is fucking well done.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it'd be very easy for them to just send in some Muslim to kill him in jail, and just have him handled.
Yep. Do you still talk to Jack or anything?
Every so often, I send him a message on Facebook. I know he's now working for Rebel and stuff.
Yeah, and Tommy, yeah. Much, yeah. His videos are really good, actually, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know if he's still a researcher for Tommy, or if Tommy's now just working with Kaylin and George.
They're probably just in the same circle.
Yeah.
Could you do me a favour? You don't have to do it.
Yeah, sure.
You can say, I don't know how to explain well, so I'm just gonna. It's bad asking for help, dude. But you know when you was talking about Alex Jones helping that guy out, that long-haired fucking loser.
Yeah.
I see a lot of myself in that loser, man. Basically, I wouldn't mind a little bit of help, and I was wondering if you could ask Jack if he could help me out. And what I mean by that is if I could just like hang out for a day or two and just see if I can be of help, and if I'm not of help, like I could do with a bit of like guidance, I think, a bit of structure to my life and just some jobs to do. You know, I'm just floating around these days.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely run it by him. I mean, the thing is like we were saying, when Tommy worked for Rebel, I know he had Jack as a researcher, so I mean, now Jack's doing his videos, maybe he needs a researcher or someone to help him flesh out points and stuff like that, so I'll bring it up to him.
I really need him to help me, if that makes sense, for a couple of weeks. I need help. And what I mean by it's just someone to have a bit of faith in me, send me some tasks to do, and, just then give me a couple of weeks and hopefully I can be of, like, good surface,
Yeah.
And if it goes well, like, I'm not asking for any money, it will be like Cubano, just to, like, see how it goes, man. It might be a disaster if he's like, after 3 days, I'll pause a dick, fuck this. I really won't mind, I completely understand. But I'd like to I'd just like to see what's going on and just get my hands dirty,
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm just not doing anything, man. It's not good for me. I could really do with some help, just having stuff to do.
Yeah.
So
I'll bring it up to him.
Do we try and hook me up? So Paul wants to hook up with you, man. Give him a phone or something.
Yeah, sure.
Like, he'll do anything, literally. You must have some jobs that need doing, Jack. And yeah. it might be a disaster, or it might be really good for me. You never know. But yeah, need a bit of guidance, man.
Yeah. Other than
Maybe it might even get me out the house too, you know.
Other than all the nonsense with Tommy Robinson and the UK and all of that, anything else interesting on your radar?
Other than just like obviously London's turned into an absolute nightmare the last couple of weeks, just getting worse. The only thing I wanted to add is we're halfway through Ramadan, nothing's fucking kicked off.
Yeah, that's true.
I just find it a bit weird. I do find it weird.
Well,
And you think maybe these Islamic attacks are like they are our Secret Service.
I was
and they
just going to
do it
say
when it
that.
suits them.
Yeah.
Because there hasn't been anything political worth blowing up, really, has there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do it during the royal wedding, the lead up to that.
And you don't want to piss off Trump because...
Yeah, we've had 2-week gap. Oh, we got Bilderberg next week.
Where's that?
Do you know what?
place?
I could get this next weekend. I could get the Bilderberg reports. I'm like, don't want to name drop, but I'm good friends with Dan Dix. I haven't spoken to Luke in a long time. I reckon I could get Jeff on because I do talk to Jeff a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So maybe I should try and maybe get him on the show. Because I'll give it a go, man. When Dan gets back, maybe get him to come on one time.
Yeah. And I just noticed even with this, well, yeah, I just noticed even with the Facebook Messenger thing, you can now add people into the call. So you can
Really?
it's a new icon. This is the first time I'm seeing it on this call here.
Great.
Yeah. So now we can just do it all through Facebook.
Yeah, I reckon we could do that.
The thing I was going to bring up, and this is just kind of the gossipy stuff they like to focus on, but the stuff with Roseanne Barr getting her show canceled.
Oh shit, dude.
Over her Valerie Jarrett remarks, which I mean, like, I think that's one of those instances where they were looking for something to axe her over. Like,
I don't know. I'm sort of in between because I like Roseanne. I do believe what she's saying. I do believe she's on this drugs. I do believe she's just stressed. I do believe she's drinking. I do believe she's mentally unwell. I do believe that she thought she was white.
Yeah.
And that she was just a Jewish. I do believe that. But at the same time, I would have fired her for it. Sorry. You got it, man. But I do admit it's not consistent. I do agree with that. Like other people, like that woman that called a fan club a cunt. It should have been the same thing.
I mean, I think, it's like...
Because Roseanne is crazy. She does tweet crazy shit, man.
But she's also... Yeah, but she's also, like, a comedian. Like, and it's like... I think, like, as far as some people who are saying, like, you knew what you were getting. Like, you know who Roseanne is, like you just said.
Time, I think it's harsh that people didn't accept her apology.
Yeah.
Like, I would have fired her, but at the same time, I would have listened to an apology and an appeal. But I think if I don't know what TV station it's on, but I think if it was me, I would say, hey, Roseanne, I'm sorry. But, you can't fucking post pictures of monkeys comparing to black people, man. You know that, I know that. Accident or not, can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, it is obnoxious that Valerie Jarrett is the whitest looking black person you could ever see.
It's unlucky. It's fucking unlucky, but it's happened. And I think the best you can do is if you apologise and you can get the public support back, definitely give your job back. But, and it's definitely inconsistent. And people get away. I think it should be consistent. I can understand it, her being... I think you got it, man.
I do see a headline here real quick.
And I feel sorry for her at the same time. I think it was a dumb mistake. I don't think she is a racist. But I can understand. Like Stephen Crowder said, you get freedom of speech, but you got to take the consequences.
Yeah. I mean, there are also people who are saying, though, that because of her health and everything like that, she wanted it to be canceled, which I don't know how true that is. I mean, I do think it's very admirable. The first thing she said, like, afterwards is... her being like, I don't give a shit about my job, but everyone else's jobs. Like, I feel bad that...
I was going to bring that up, because she does seem like that kind of family-oriented girl, and that show isn't the show. Like, the Roseanne family is the real family to me. Probably is. And she probably feels so bad that she's fucked them, that she might have taken a bullet for them.
But I think, you know, you have these people being like, are they going to reboot the show around another character? And it's like, that's not going to do well. Like, people watched it for Roseanne.
No, I don't know. I've not watched it, but who's that girl in it? That Darlene. Darlene could pull it off, man.
Maybe.
She's good. She is quite a good comedian. She is good. You might be right. Maybe Roseanne saw the potential in Darlene, didn't want to fuck it for her, and just said, hey, you know, I'll fall on my sword. Just to, like, just take responsibility for it. Because that show could work without Roseanne, I think.
I don't know.
And then, you know, maybe bring her back when it's cooled down.
Maybe. I mean, I just think
I think she was right to cancel Joe Rogan. I'm glad she didn't go on Joe Rogan. I would let it die down for 10 days and then
go on the last thing you want is in the fervor of that doing a long form 2-hour podcast on
That's actually my prediction. She'll be 80% she'll hide for 10 days. Go on to Joe Rogan. And I think Joe Rogan might be able to smooth it out. I think that's your best chance because Joe Rogan's quite cool.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's actually an arsehole behind the scenes. I've got a theory about Joe Rogan. I think he is a bit of a bully boy, you know, behind the scenes. I can just see it in him. Like, I know he comes across really well on camera, and I'm sure he is, but I bet he is a bit.
See, but even some of the stuff on camera, like, you know, I think, and I forget who else I've heard have this theory, is I think someone sat him down and was like, listen, we'll let you keep doing your thing, but these are the positions you have to hold on X, Y, and Z. And if you get too far off of that, we're gonna flip the script on you, and you'll be right alongside your buddy Alex Jones. That's why I think on climate change, that's why I think he was holding this position of, but the experts say, but the experts say, but the experts, where it's like, I think someone went to him and was like, these are the you know, I forget the term, but the live wires, like, don't touch this one. You can bring Eddie Bravo on and, you know, have him talk about that stuff, but don't you go there.
I just think he gets away with it because everyone, like, I'd want to hang around Joe Rogan. It's good for everyone's careers. And I think a lot of people just probably let him get away with a lot of stuff that maybe other people wouldn't get away with.
Yeah.
He probably is a good guy, but I think he could probably be...
Back to the thing about what he was saying with Candace and the climate change thing. Now, you know what the interesting thing was? He brought it to the point, which is, if you look, you know, problem, reaction, solution. If you look up geoengineering patents, we have 100 years worth of weather modification technologies. And he said right there, the people know the future technology is going to be climate control. Well, what's climate control mean? Weather modification technologies. So if we can convince everyone that we need to control the weather because otherwise the world's going to fall apart, well, then we can just bring out 100 years worth of technology that we've had and have been fucking with. I mean, that's where it's like the what came first, the chicken or the egg. Like, we've been modifying the weather, so of course there might be unnatural changes and stuff like that because we've been fucking with it. But it becomes the excuse for it.
But there's an old video of Joe Rogan outside a club, and this guy's arguing with him that, like, anyone can just get... It's like probably in the 90s. This guy's going, anyone can get into America, dude. Like, there's loads of illegals coming through. And Joe's like, no, you can't. You need an American passport. You can't just come here illegally. He's like, you're saying you can get here anywhere in the world into America? And the guy's like, yeah. It's just going, what, like, Chinese can just get here undocumented? It's like, yeah, well, they land in Mexico, cross the border, and they're in. And Joe's like, fuck you, and then ends up putting him in a headlock.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Where he puts that guy in? To me, I think that's the real Joe Rogan. I think he is a cunt. And everyone in the comments is like, oh, Joe Rogan's so cool. Joe Rogan's like, no, dude, he attacked someone for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
To show off. The guy just tapped him on the shoulder, and Joe goes, if you do that again, I'm gonna fucking knock you out. So the guy touched him again, and then he put him in a headlock. I think Joe was being a dick there. Just touching you isn't a fuck. He was looking for an excuse to fucking dominate him.
Yeah.
Basically. And it's not the first time I've seen Joe do that. He did it when someone heckled Joey Diaz on stage. And admittedly, the guy was fucked up. Joe Rogan has to go down really heavy-handed with him. You just think, dude, you're a tough guy, Joe. You didn't need to be tough with that guy. You really didn't. You weren't in any danger at all. You just want to show off. And I get that men want to do that kind of stuff, but I do see, I don't know, I could just picture Joe being quite a bit of a bully, like he doesn't get his own way.
Here, back to what we were saying about Roseanne, like, you have Matt Lauer.
Especially the way he spoke to Candice as well, because Candice, I think she got intimidated by Joe, I could see it.
Yeah.
She didn't want to stand up for herself because she knew what the consequences would be. Even if she was right, and she didn't. I think she does have the data. I think she probably did. I think Candice could have explained it to him, but maybe she was just like if I fuck Joe off and he starts shouting at me, that could be like career over for me. And he can dominate me, and whether I'm right or wrong, people are going to sway with Joe, because that's how it goes. I don't know, maybe he is like a little sweetheart, but I don't know.
I don't know. I feel bad for her because I think she is very unfairly attacked on certain issues. Like I was saying with the Lauren Southern thing, she comes out and says celebrities, no one cares what you think, and then they expect that to be this sort of concrete, absolutist fucking position where it's like, even if the celebrity is doing a good deed, they expect her to just be like, fuck them, they're a celebrity. Like, the sort of ultra-literal interpretations of everything. Where I think I said it on Twitter, where I said, isn't it funny how when things go to this hyper-literal thing, the same people who are like, nuance, there's nuance, and then suddenly they forget all about nuance when they want to attack someone.
I don't know what nuance means. What's nuance mean?
Nuance just means there's detail and specificity, that you can't be overly general, and there's, like, details to things that need to be taken into account. You can't oversimplify.
Yeah, okay. Oh, there you go. Yeah, hook me up with Jack if you can. It probably won't happen, but it'd be, I could do with some help, man.
Yeah.
That'd be good, He might be like snowed under and might need some help. You just never know. Or he might I've got fuck all to do myself.
Now, I was wondering, because we had talked about it before, have you seen, I guess Laura Loomer came out with a bunch of new details regarding the Las Vegas shooting.
I only saw that there was like 2 women there or something now. Yeah, the Las Vegas thing stinks. Like, that prostitute should be in jail, man.
Yeah.
That Thai woman or whatever, Filipino woman. But no, that's all I heard was there were just 3 women instead of 1.
Yeah.
Why, what do you know? What do you know about it?
Numbers who demand better. I don't know what the actual details and updates were. I could try pulling it up. I just know that there's still more coming out, and they're saying the sheriff has been hiding things and.
Nice shit. Well, I did see apparently they released a video of the cops going in, and that seemed a bit weird. Like, the window wasn't shot out, and when they went in the room, you'd think it'd be just like completely smoked out for hours, man.
Yeah.
The amount of rounds put through that. And then I didn't see any casing or any guns lying about. Yeah, the whole thing's fucking weird, man. I don't know what happened that night, but yeah.
Let's see. Please holding active assailant drill. I'm looking at her site now, and it's just, let's see, Las Vegas docs say Stephen Patterson told Uber driver about terrorist attack. I mean, I guess it's coming out about all the warnings that people were given that there's going.
Did you not see? I'll try and send it to you. I'm going to do this off memory, but those 2 guys and his brother were like pedos, weren't they? Didn't it turn out that they were pedos? And not only that, right? This gets really fucking weird, right? This is fucking weird. Stephen Paddock basically had a house in Bohemian Grove, dude.
Really?
Did you not know that?
No.
Yeah. And his brother got fucked for all that paedophile shit. Do you not remember?
Yeah, that I do. There were 3 women in Paddock's room when they entered.
Yeah, Stephen Paddock's got a house right in Bohemian Grove, and you think, like, I don't want to be conspiratorial, but how easy is it to get a house in fucking Bohemian Grove, dude? He actually lives there. And you just think, what, I mean, no, come on now, let's go there. What the fucking probability? Type into Google, like, Stephen Paddock, house, and then Bohemian Grove. It's like, it's not in Bohemian Grove, but it may as well be. Like, it's literally their neighbours. And they're like, okay, he doesn't live in Bohemian Grove, he may as well. Are you checking it out?
No, right now I'm looking at a thing about an active shooter drill they were having at a Las Vegas high school around the same time as the.
But what do you think about this? That he lived out in the woods, and also didn't they have this thing where where his meth lab blew up? He had explosions going off in his house, and the FBI said it was a meth lab or something.
That I did.
And then he was telling neighbours like, "Oh, don't worry, I sell meth for the FBI. I don't fucking worry about it. Sorry, my drug factory blew up." Like, I'm butchering it because I didn't pay that much attention, but yeah, Stephen Paddock had a lot of FBI fucking links way before he was gun dealing. He looked like he was. Have you read stuff about him doing meth, like him being a meth dealer and all that stuff, and having all their car rentals and stuff, dropping his drugs?
No.
Let's do one at a time. Stephen Paddock, Bohemian Grove. Let's just do one at a time. Because the Bohemian Grove one is true. So I went on Google Maps and everything. I think it was
Brian D. Paddock of Florida is headed to Cumberland. Paddock in possession of.
Sorry, it's his brother who's got the house in
Yeah.
Bohemian Grove. And what's the chance of that? And remember, Bohemian Grove, he is actually a paedophile too. So it's not as if I'm going, oh, could he be like a paedophile? No, as far as we understand, he had hundreds of photos of child pornography on his computer. And you have a look, he does actually have the address right next to Bohemian Grove. And remember he had the t-shirt on, the Crisis Actor t-shirt on?
Yeah.
When he got interviewed, do you remember that?
Owns homes at Bohemian Grove or children being imprisoned there. So the Paddock brothers are known pedophiles with convictions. Longtime owners of 2 homes that sit on the northwest edge of Bohemian Grove. One of the homes is on the north access road and is within walking distance.
Yeah. So, right, okay, let me break this down to you, Jamie. Right, if you live in Bohemian Grove, right, you think the FBI might know who you are?
Yeah.
You live on fucking... do you think the Secret Service might know who you are? Do you think, like, Clinton's personal security would be like, we know who this guy is? Because it's the biggest security ever, Bohemian Grove, and they didn't know that there was a child molester living there. I reckon you got to be someone... maybe he was... because not only is he a gun runner, maybe he was a child runner too.
Yeah. Well, and that would make sense with the going to the Philippines and, trying to traffic people in and out of... Caught photos of a man and some...
and then he started mixing with ISIS or something. And then they had this connection to... he got charged for having child porn. So yeah, I thought that was the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the article about that he was with the FBI way before any of this. His house blew up.
You know what I have to say really bothers me is listening to Alex
When I try
Jones.
and Google the story, all the news articles are taken down. Yeah, hang on. See, I'm butcher. Sorry, I should have. If I'd known, I would have checked beforehand. But I'm pretty sure this guy had a house that blew up. which is a bit weird. I'm sorry.
I saw something about a different Paddock being arrested.
Yeah, well, I think they're related because a lot, something like that, and he ended up blowing up, and basically all the locals knew there was they thought it was a bomb factory, and the police were like, no, it's a meth factory, and don't worry about it, to like calm the locals down. So it's like a big explosion. Forgive me if this is wrong, because I'm doing this off memory. Some big explosion, the cops come round, and I'm like, what the fuck? And yeah, then they told all the community, oh, don't worry about it. It's a meth lab, it's not a bomb factory, like, don't worry about it. And don't worry about him being a meth dealer. Does it for the FBI. Like, we know him as one of us. He's like a drug runner for us. And like, just calm the community down and stuff. It's a bit weird, man. I could be wrong, so forgive me if I am, but I'm pretty sure I remember reading loads on this. And now when I'm clicking on the articles I had, they've been taken down. I'm sure his house, it wasn't the house, it was like in a garage or something, it wiped out the whole house as well. And that's why, the other conspiracy theory in me, that's why they made up this shit about him shooting at the gas, this thing about explosions and Stephen Paddock's going to take you to that, rather about when he was in the FBI and one of his meth factories blew up. Well, they say it's a meth factory, but everyone in the community says no way. Like, we understand there's meth factories and they blow up. But this thing fucking blew up. We reckon it's a bomb factory or some shit in there. I'll try and, maybe we should do it for the next show. I think Jamie's asleep.
No, I'm sorry. I was reading something about Sandy Hook stuff. Which I was going to say is, you know, one of the things that bothers me about Alex Jones, that he so vehemently takes a position on that because he's sick of that talking point being used against him. You know, that he says that thing, I mean, that thing is as shady as 9/11, but yet he's like, has taken a stance on that because he realizes
oh yeah, wasn't Stephen Paddock's dad on the top 10 FBI list as well? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So now, so his dad's on the top 10 FBI list. His brother's got a house on Bohemian Grove, pretty much, and he's done child porn. They had other stuff where it looked like they were doing drug running for the FBI. All these private planes as well, that looked like it was like government contract planes. They ended up being sold back to the government and going back and forth. He had some kind of FBI connection with his planes or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
But, you know. And how come they're not concerned about his girlfriend who's running around the Philippines all the time? They didn't seem too worried about her. Yeah, Vegas is a mess, dude. You're never going to find out what happened to that.
Yeah,
I'm going with the paedophile theory. I reckon Stephen Paddock was FBI all the way. And my best bet is it wasn't ISIS gone wrong. That's an ISIS deal gone wrong. I don't know, because like, I mean, what was the rollout after Vegas? You didn't really have much for a rollout, did you? There's lots of speculation to get all this more security. You'd lose your guns, you'd have all these, like, you know, security at hotels. That never actually fucking happened, did it? So there wasn't, like, any, like, rollout, I guess, was there?
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting, too, you did have it, like, even with the, that Santa Fe shooting, where it's like, you know, it's very selective, where they had that Santa Fe shooting, and for some reason that didn't get the response that the Parkland shooting did. It's like they pick and choose which ones they're going to make central topics and everything. Where it's like which one best suits the political narrative. I don't think we discussed. Have you heard about the Obamas doing this Netflix deal?
Oh my god. I reckon, I'm telling you, dude, Prince Harry and Meghan are going there, and they're going to end up on this show. They're going to end up on it, because they're going to be the next Hollywood thing, man. They're going to be the next Kanye and Kim. And then I reckon Obama's going to, like, have them as regulars on the show, or whatever. And then you're going to end up with Meghan running against Trump. Or some crazy shit like that. With Prince Harry by her side. Yeah. You can't get rid of that creepy guy, can you? People still love that guy though, man. A lot of people, I'd say most people love him.
Who?
Obama.
Oh, yeah. What do you think?
Maybe they might do a big reveal and like show Michael's penis. Like, no, there might be like a penis show. It's all displayed. It's all just there.
What do you think of the conspiracy that Angela Merkel is actually a daughter of Hitler?
Not daughter of Hitler, but very closely blood related.
I don't know. People think she's a daughter from like frozen sperm or something.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, yeah. I actually think there's a lot to it.
Yeah, the resemblance is
I did read that. I can't remember what I found out about that. But yeah, I think it goes back to the story where one of Hitler's girlfriends committed suicide. But when you actually look at that, it looks like Hitler shot her. Yeah, the Angela Merkel thing is weird because there was a different... Yeah, let me read. I've got a file on that, but I can't remember what I found. But yeah, I found it really compelling. You can finally tell how compelling I found it. I can't remember much on it. But yeah, at first I thought that bullshit, and I started reading it, thinking, yeah. Merkel is a bit of a weird one. Especially when you hear about all this stuff about the Nazis getting through, how big they were in Brazil and Argentina.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Nothing. It surprised me now, man. I really want to be surprised. And also, there's a photo of Merkel with, I think, Theresa May and another politician when she was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
No.
Have you seen that photo? Yeah, I'll send it to you now. If you just type in photo of Merkel with, I think it's Theresa May. But she's with kids, and she's with like all the latest women that are high up in politics. There's another woman as well. And you think, again, what's the chances of that? Surely you got more chance of winning the lottery than... It's a hard photo, it's fine, they really do get rid of it, but I'm sure it's true. I'm probably wrong. I think I found it. It's a black and white photo, here we go, yeah. So there's a photo, Theresa May, and this other lady I don't recognise. It's on Snoops, I'm on Snoops.
Yeah.
You know you're doing well when you're on Snoops. Snoops, I should probably say, it's false. Everything in the world's false. Hang on. Jeez, man, we're not well prepared. An image purportedly showing German Chancellor Angela Merkel, UK Prime Minister Theresa May, and Lithuanian President Dalia What's-Her-Face together at a party in their teens appeared on social media. But apparently it's fake, I guess they're going to say. But it looks pretty real to me.
I think it's funny, though, because it says... It's like, we know it's not them, but we haven't identified who they are.
And look at the photo of Theresa May. I mean, she's got grey skin, dude. And she actually looks like it. like a female version of
Yeah.
it, man. She looks evil. Look at
Yeah.
that photo, dude.
I know. She's
Like
scary
if you
looking.
did if you had to make a film.
Oh!
Let's say you had to do a
Hold
film,
on, you know what that reminds me of, though? I saw a thing the other day where there was a picture circulating around of Johnny Depp looking like a lesbian cancer patient, where I guess, like...
Yeah, can we do Johnny Depp show again? I've got a lot more news on Johnny Depp. A lot more stuff.
Where, you know, it's like, it's one of these things where I think if you're an evil person, it just manifests in your appearance after a while.
Yeah, but look at that picture of Theresa May where she's grey and she's got the red. If you wanted to film cut, say I was making a film, Hollywood film, and it's about how Lucifer had sent these demonic angels to Earth and they became like humanoids and then they became like Prime Minister. She would be, that photo would be perfect for the front cover of the film. I've never seen someone look that even Snoops are trying to debunk it by getting the most evilest, over-the-top picture possible. How can you look that great, dude?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Theresa May really creeps me out. My brother hangs around with her, man. Yeah, my brother's having lunch with her all the time and shit like this. It's, hang on. Angela Merkel. Maybe they could call it Angela Merkel and combine her with Meghan. The thing is, her politics aren't exactly that different to Hitler.
Yeah, no. And even the aligning with Islam, you know, the Nazis.
Do you know what the refugees call her?
No.
They call her Mama.
Nah. That's funny.
And she's adopted it. Yeah, because she's like their mum. They call her Mama.
Yeah.
And she hasn't got any of her own kids, obviously. Yeah, it says a lot that these people... that's why she wants them all in, man. Yeah, I did find some good articles, and here's the one I was looking at.
Yeah, and you know, it does make me wonder when you look at these things about, like, you know, the idea of these secret bloodlines and everything like that. Like, who is Meghan Markle, really?
Oh, they found out. There's a program coming out on Channel 4 where the first mass murderer in America, he had this house where he's, like, decapitating people and shit. This crazy mass murder. I think it's, like, the first mass murderer, serial killer, that was, like, recorded or whatever. It's related to Meghan Markle.
Really?
Yeah, type in Channel 4, Meghan Markle related to like serial killer or something. There's this massive TV program about it. And also, I mean, they are related. They do have family ties, but it's not. They're like 17th cousins apparently, which isn't that. I mean, you could say that about anyone.
Meghan Markle is related to H.H. Holmes, America's first serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the best article I found. There's a... I hope I sent the right one. 50 Shades one. I just sent it to you on Messenger. But yeah, of all the articles I found, this was like the best one. That's the one that convinced me the most. But I need to read it through again. But I remember finding those pictures of Merkel in her communist little uniform as well. And you've got to remember the creators of the EU were actual full-on Nazis too. So it's not that crazy, man. And they it looks like they did have plans to like freeze Hitler's sperm and like...
Oh yeah, of course. They're obsessed with genetics. Why wouldn't they? I mean, that's one of the things you gotta realize, like, as far as body doubles and things like that. Like, I've seen things where they would show Princess Diana and you would even have, like, different people as Princess Diana, and if you look closely from one photo to another, you could tell some of them weren't actually her or were someone else. Or...
How dare you?
They do that. Michael Jackson had body doubles. There are pictures of Michael Jackson on set where it'd be him in one area and you see off to the side someone else who looks just like him, and that was just for shooting a music video.
What's going on, man? We live in a crazy world, dude.
We do.
And if you're the only person I speak. If I speak to anyone else about this, they go, "You're crazy, dude." Alright, before we go, do two things.
Okay.
Type in Tommy Robinson into the news to see what's going on now. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. If you type in Tommy Robinson news, it just looks like... It's not good, man. If you don't know who Tommy Robinson is, it's the first time you hear about him.
Tommy Robinson news. Well, you do have Samantha Markle, and this is another thing I thought was very weird. Samantha Markle demands the release of Tommy Robinson. You have Markle's half-sister saying that he should be released.
Well, that settles it then.
This is Change.org has refused to take down an inaccurate petition calling for Tommy Robinson to be released.
No, it went. The government refused it. They said, "Nah, fuck off." They got it. It did get mentioned, and they said, "Nah, fuck off. I'm not reviewing it." And everyone's going, "Oh, what do you expect?" It's like, oh, he pleaded guilty, you fucking idiot. Like, that's the thing you're forgetting. Tommy said, the judge said, "Are you guilty?" And Tommy said, "Yeah." It's not looking good, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it'd be good for who is the actual...
Yeah, but back to Johnny Depp. It looks like he's got AIDS or something, man, or HIV.
Yeah.
But then I looked at him on stage. I think the photos could just make him look worse than what it actually is, unfortunately. No, I shouldn't say that. But when you look at him on stage and when he's actually got his gear on, he looks quite normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm convinced Johnny's a pedo.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I've seen some other stuff. If you looked at... Did you type this into Google? If you typed in that tainted love, pedo, like this pedo's actually covered the song, and the video is really blatant pedo stuff in it. This guy's singing Tainted Love. When you think about Tainted Love, read the lyrics. It is about it's about an abused boy, isn't it? Do you want to go through the lyrics together? It is, man. Read the lyrics. Have you actually read the lyrics to Tainted Love? It's really disturbing. And then you watch the original video for it. It's called Soft Cell. Type in Soft Cell, Tainted Love. It's blatant paedophile, man. He starts having a go at this girl, this little black girl that's like 6 years old, 8 years old, because like, he can't flirt with her. And he starts giving her an apple of temptation. It's weird, man. And whilst you do that, let me read the lyrics to Tainted Love. And you tell me what this song's about. And this is the intimidating bit. It goes, sometimes I feel like I've got to, and it's like bang, bang. Yellow away, bang, bang. I mean, that's a bit unsettling. Can we agree that?
Yeah.
Can we agree? Sometimes I feel I've got to get away. I know I'm adding a bang, bang, but it isn't a song. Sometimes I feel I've got to bang, bang. Run away, I've got to. But this is where it gets weird. Once I ran to you, now I'll run from you. I give you all a boy could give you. Take my tears, and that's not nearly all. I gave you all a boy could give. You take my tears, and that's not nearly all. Let's keep going. Then it goes back to the, now I have to, I've got to, bang, bang, run away, I've got to. And it's like bang, bang, so it's really intimidating. get away. You don't really want any more from me to make things right. You need someone to hold you tight. And you think love is to pray, but I'm sorry, I don't pray that way. So pray can mean two things, remember. Pray can be like praying to God and also being like hunted down. Don't, and then there's the last bit, don't touch me please. I cannot stand the way you tease. I love you though you hurt me so. Now I'm gonna pack my things and go. It sounds a bit like... You watching a video? Can you put it on without the sound? It's called Soft Cell, Tainted Love.
I'm reading about it right now.
Pedophile
I didn't realize though, and I guess I was just reading a thing that there's two versions of the video. I didn't realize the song isn't originally by Soft Cell though. That it's actually a Gloria Jones song that they covered. But they're the ones that are most known for it. And I mean,
the Soft Cell video creeped me out a lot, man. It's like...
There's a lot of different theories about it, that it could be about him singing about it, like the girl in the video being his daughter, maybe, or... I don't know. But I mean, it is kind of... I think when Marilyn Manson and Johnny Depp do it, what they're thinking is, you know, up to interpretation. Soft Cell. It's a UK Northern Soul.
Not when you watch the video, but then they might have liked the Soft Cell video. I'll tell you where to forward it to. You don't need to watch... Oh yeah, there is two videos. One's like clean, and then the other one's dirty. So don't watch the one... Do you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, sure.
I remember. It's bad. It's like they're... Let me just send it. It's bad. Yeah, it's here. Ah, get it off! I don't even want to hear it. I can't even hear it now. Like, if it comes on at work, I actually have to go fucking leave the building, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I can't like ask people what they think about the song. That's why I get fired, because shit like this comes on the radio and I'll end up bringing it up, just going, you don't think this is a bit creepy?
Yeah. I'm reading it. Here's an interesting little quote. Producer Mike Thorne commented that he was surprised by the choice, as he had not been impressed by the 1976 version on hearing it, but was impressed by the new arrangement and Allman's sinister vocal. You could smell the coke on that second Northern Soul version. It was really so over-ramped and so frantic. It was good for the dance floor, but I didn't like the record. So when Soft Cell performed the song, I heard a very novel sound and a very nice voice. So we went off.
Yeah, can we do the Johnny Depp thing again since it got taken down?
Yeah, sure.
And also, it's a bit weird how Johnny Depp's falling down the pan and Marilyn Manson is kind of like at the same time.
Yeah. Manson put out that new album and I haven't heard anything from it. He did that Shoot Trump video and that was just it.
You think Johnny Depp's got AIDS?
It
does happen, you know.
I don't know. I don't know what he has. I think it's just when you have no soul.
Maybe it's all that injecting. It's probably injecting blood in his vampire band.
Or it's all the adrenochrome.
Yeah, so you got a bit of it. Yeah, man. I don't like the guy, dude. He creeps me the fuck out. I don't understand how women... Well, that's why I don't like women anymore, because so many women are attracted to this guy. And it just shows you women just like power. And not the good kind of power, you get what I'm saying? They like the dark arts. You know, I'm not talking about black people doing Shakespeare, man. I'm talking dark arts. It's like someone's calling it the Trump curse.
Meh. It pretty much is. You go against Trump and then you just end up... Like I mean, Kathy Lee Griffin is still out there talking about her in that picture. Like, she just can't get over it.
How much weight do you think is lost in that picture? Or do you think it's just a bad picture?
I don't know. It might just be a bad picture.
Don't look that natural. It doesn't look natural, the picture, to me. Yeah, he has lost a lot of weight, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. But all right, well let's wrap things up, and we can get into Johnny Depp next week.
Yeah, I don't trust that guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Is that even? Maybe it's not even Johnny Depp in that picture, because his arms look weird in that picture. Can't put my finger on why his arms look weird. Could you lose that much weight that quickly?
I don't know. Not unless there's something wrong with you.
There's a lot wrong with him. Yeah. Oh, I also wanted to do some stuff on Prince as well. A lot of stuff's coming out on that now.
Uh-huh.
A lot of weird shit coming out on poor Prince. Do you know how much... Did I mention this to you? Do you know how much... What showed up on his autopsy?
No.
Well, what do you think killed him? Like, what did you hear?
I don't know. Probably opiates?
Yeah, it was fentanyl.
Oh, fentanyl. Oh, wow.
Yeah, but did you hear how much fentanyl?
No.
Don't quote me, but it was like 65 times over the lethal dose. 65, like enough to kill like 5 or 6 elephants.
Wow.
And then it got ruled as accidental death, so not... Surely that would be suicide, wouldn't that?
Yeah.
Let me just see if I can find it. Like, it was astronomical amounts in him. And then you think, how the fuck did he get downstairs then? In an elephant, even if he did take the lift. And then he had a few... autopsy, like how much was actually in there? I remember it was like crazy amounts. Yeah, exceedingly high. It's not exceedingly high, it's beyond. It's like, hello. I don't know if I can find. So yeah, 67.8 micrograms per litre was found. Don't quote me, but don't you only need about 3 or 4 micrograms per litre to actually overdose? He had...
I don't know with fentanyl. I also know though...
Oh, sorry, here we go. Yeah, but they were saying it was like literally thousands of times more than what would normally knock somebody down.
Yeah. I mean, that was similar with Kurt Cobain, where when he died, he was found with so much heroin in his system that people said that he would have been incapable of operating a shotgun no matter what his tolerance for heroin was.
Yeah, I think there does become a point where you can't rule it as tolerance.
Yeah. So yeah, well, we can do that. Get into more Prince stuff and Johnny Depp.
Yeah, and the other thing is it could be a win-win. Like, if you get me in with Jack, it'll be good for you as well, wouldn't it? Because if it did work out, at least we might get something with a better audience for you.
Yeah, except I don't know. I don't even know if building an audience on YouTube is even possible anymore. When I see videos of people like Tim Cook, who I think it's just pretty much down the middle, saying that YouTube is a dead space at this point, it's a little demoralizing. I just think if you've talked about certain topics, like here's the thing, as what I really think is, I think if we were to start a new channel and not have any videos with the phrase Islam in the titles, I think it would build a quicker audience than going with this channel.
No, because they've got it doesn't matter. They can pick it up on the voice.
That's true. But all right, well, let's wrap things up.
Yeah, thanks for letting me destroy your show again.
Nah, of course.
Next week and destroy it some more. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people say about Tommy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd like to hear everyone's take on it. And even just how they feel about being this barrage of non-news and the fact that people feel the need to report on things before there's anything even to really report yet.
Maybe that's what it was. It was kind of a quiet week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
But
yeah, man. Well, I'll catch you soon, dude.
Alright, take care.
Alright, catch you later, man. Bye.
Later.